Good to see you
Oh,
again.
you're all welcome to another edition of the EPBWN one-on-one interview with Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam. It's always my pleasure to have all of you join in to listen to the wonderful and fantastic speakers and women in leadership sharing their life stories through their experiences, through their journey, using the lens of breaking the glass ceiling, women in leadership, working in men-dominated areas, and just basically telling us about their lives in in a beautiful voice of theirs. And so today, before we start, I would just want those of you that are on to introduce yourself while we're giving time for other people to join the session, and then I'll start properly. So without any, apart from the guest speaker, please don't introduce yourself. We're going to introduce you specially. I had several requests to put in some information into your introduction. So hold on. So we can start with the three other people in any order. Thank you. So who is going first?
We'll have Mr. Pam, our
I
esteemed participant.
I thought I would go last, actually.
Okay,
Ladies first.
okay, ladies.
Okay, ladies first. Well, thank you very much, Princess, for this invitation and for your continued series that has empowered a lot of us who were able to join. My name is Ibrahim-Pam. I'm joining you today from Ghana, from Accra, and it's such an honor to be on this particular edition because the guest speaker is someone I have a lot of admiration for. Not only is she a friend and a colleague, but a fellow female emancipation champion. So it's such an honor to be with you on this call today, Madam Remy, and look forward to fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person, we're just doing introduction of the guests so that we give time for other people to join. So Madam Yvonne Prempe has just introduced herself. So I see more people joining in. So Pat, if you want to do the introduction, then Victoria, and then Dr. Angela. Then Simi. We'll do that quickly. But if you don't want to introduce yourself, it's not, but it would be nice to know.
Everyone. My name is Pat Halliday from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Although I'm based in Abuja, but I'm joining this from Port Harcourt. Greetings to my darling sister, Princess Kego, and do well to say hi to your dear husband, darling.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pat. And Pat is my classmate, my childhood classmate. We've known each other now for over 40 years, I would say.
Yeah, 40 years, yeah, 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years. We all grew up in Port Harcourt and attended the same school, and we've kept in touch all these years. Thank you. So, is this Victoria? You want to introduce yourself briefly? If you're not open to that, then we'll go to the next person.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie. Okay, my name is Victoria, and Auntie's niece. And,
Okay, your volume is low.
okay.
Who can do with that?
Okay. Okay, I'm joining in from Atlanta. A compliance professional. I've been in compliance for like over 15 years now, and Matt is my mentor. So
That's your phone.
I hope to learn a lot from this session, and also I'll contribute if I have anything to say after the conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Victoria. That's my niece. In short, my baby. They all grew up me taking care of them. So we have Dr. Angela, you want to introduce yourself, and then Simi, and then Mr. Pam.
Okay. Can you see me?
We'll try. Not yet.
Not yet.
All right. Okay. Okay. There is Dr. Angela. Pardon my hair. I'm Angela Ulofu Adeoye. I'm joining in from Jos. I work with the Center for Conflict Management and Peace Studies of the University of Jos. Hi, everybody. Hi, Auntie Kego. Hi, Mrs. Ramatu. I look forward to gaining new insights from our discussions this afternoon. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. You're still here with Princess. Good afternoon.
You're muted.
Sorry. Hi. Sorry about that. Simi, are you introducing yourself?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will. A beautiful evening here in Jos, Nigeria, home base of Ramatu Rave. I'm very happy to be here listening to my sister, the one that talks like a machine and never goes off with her sentence intact all the time. My childhood friend, my classmates in secondary school, we sat beside each other for almost 6 years. I am Simi Boshwe, the founder of Simji Girl Child Empowerment Initiative and Orphanage here in Jos, Nigeria. I'm very excited to be listening to my sister here, Ramatu, today on this global stage. Ramatu, let's hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I see Titi Lola. You want to introduce yourself, and then Mr. Pam, and then we kick off the interview.
My apologies for having my camera off.
No.
Good morning to everyone. Excuse me. My name is Titilola Barbarene. I'm joining in from England, UK. Really lovely to be on this platform. I've joined because I got a link invitation from Princess Ibrahim-Pam today. So I thought, yes, I'll just join in to listen to this, what seems to be an interesting conversation, and also be good to just get inspired by the conversation going on today, and also just network with every other person here. So thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you. Mr. Pam, you can do your introduction now. And I see other Pams. Any one of you willing to introduce yourself? Mr. Pam?
Okay, happy to do so. My name is Ibrahim-Pam. Very pleased to be here. And I'll describe myself the way I do at important occasions. I'm the husband of Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a pleasure. Yes, indeed. So really pleased to be here and looking forward to hearing the talk. I'm at the office, so I might have to leave, or I might have to turn off my video. Nice to see you, Ramatu. Nice to see you, everyone. Simi, Yvonne, Titi, Victoria, and the other ladies, and Pat. Yes, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pam.
Yeah. So I have Elizabeth and Marfeng. Do you want to introduce yourself just briefly, and then we start the interview proper?
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you, Pops. I didn't say nice to see you, Elizabeth, but nice to see you, Pops. Hi, my name is Elizabeth Pam. I am the daughter of Nwakego-Pam, Princess, and Mr. Ibrahim-Pam. And I'm happy to be here, happy to listen and to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I am proud to introduce the new mother in town that just gave me a handsome, beautiful, bouncing boy. Mafeng, you want to introduce yourself? Are you there?
She's probably resting. Where's she?
She's resting. Okay, so we're going to start. I want to thank you all for joining in to this program. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam. I'm the founder and chairperson of the Expert Professional and Businesswomen's Network International. I would like to introduce the Expert Professional and Businesswomen's Network International to you so that you know what we do and what our vision and our mission and mandate is all about. The network was started in April 20th, 2013 in Tunisia. It was started basically to be a support group, a platform for spouses of expatriate women who follow their husbands to their different workstations outside their own home country. And basically, the women found it very difficult to adapt and reintegrate into a new country, mainly because of language or social and economic restriction put on diplomatic spouses in different countries where we go to with our husbands. So at the beginning, we were 25 women from 18 different countries around the world who came together to share our experiences, our stories, and just to be a support system for each other. And since then, we have expanded to over 25 countries across Africa, Europe, Asia, and other Latin America, every other country that will have members in the world. We connect, and our main aim is to help capacity building, financial empowerment, emotional support, especially for women who suffer domestic violence, sexual abuse. We have different initiatives. We have the one called the Legal Hand. Basically, we provide pro bono legal assistance to women who will need legal support during their difficult periods. We also have the one called what's it called now? I can't remember now because of stress of having to talk about it. But we provide psychological services to women too, anonymous, that go through these difficult times in their lives. And we are here to help you set up businesses. We try to set up businesses with zero capital. We try to teach you to use what you have to create your own business, especially during this era of technology, where you can actually start a business without really having any huge capital to expand on your businesses. So I want to thank you. If you have any questions, if you want to join the network, is an open platform. It's not financially binding. It's just your time, your commitment, and what you can bring to the network to empower other women and be empowered yourself. So if you want to join us, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp group that we can be added onto. So if you need to be reconnected to this group, you can leave your name, your email, your phone number, so that we can add you to the different platforms that we have that support each other. We have chapters in Ghana, we have chapters in South Africa, we have in Abidjan, we have in Tunisia, we have in South Korea, we have in Tanzania, we have in started one in Lesotho, and in Nigeria. How can I forget Nigeria? And so many other countries where women come together to be part of this international platform. And this platform is available to every woman If you have a program that you want to collaborate with us, we're open to collaborate with you, and you don't have to pay anything. And we use it just for the purpose of empowering women and making sure that we reach out to as many women within our communities and outside our communities. So thank you. I'm very happy to have you. And so I'll go into introducing my books. One of the speakers told me that I don't know how to sell myself, that in every opportunity I have to speak to people, I must speak to them about what to do and how they can be of help to me. So I'm going to introduce my new book, which was just launched last month. It's called the Power of the Effective Leadership, the Power of an Effective Leadership in Diaspora. It took me about 2-3 years to put all the materials together. We have it in hardcover and we have it in paperback. We also have an ebook version of it on Amazon. It's affordable for me to be able to do the work I do. You empower me through my work so that I can also empower other people. So if you go to Amazon, you also find some other books which I have written with other women around the world and individually. I have my Yawo the Expert Pro, is my personal memoir that chronicles my life from my nuclear family to the marriage of to the family of my marriage and my life journeys through being a mother, being a wife, being a career woman, and the second version of it would be being a grandmother to chronicle my life. We also have the Niche Project, where women, about 10-15 women, come together to write their stories. This is an empowerment project that allows them to buy the books cheaply and then sell to make some passive income to help themselves financially. So this is all we do, and we do more. If you're willing to collaborate with us, just last week or 2 weeks ago, we collaborated with Titi Lola that is here to promote her business and invite women around the world to join if you're interested in the kind of product and business she has to offer. So it is an open platform for everybody. So right now, today, we have a special speaker, guest speaker. Her name is Ramatu. I don't even know how to introduce her because she's a friend. She's my sister. We worked together in British Council. She's followed me around to Ghana to do the first international summit on women's empowerment and leadership. So I would like to introduce her formally, but I got a request from her classmate that said I must and should introduce her, that Ramatu Umar Bako went to the prestigious St. Louis College, Jos. So I think that will make your classmate happy. They saw the invitation and they insisted that I must announce your affiliation to the great St. Louis College, Jos. So Ramatu Umar Bako is an alumnus of the UK Chevenix and UK Common Purpose programs. She has an LLB, Hons in Law from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, from the Nigerian Law School, Abuja, and BL from the Nigerian Law School, Abuja, and MSc Global Conflict and Peace Processes from the University of Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom. Ramatu also has numerous qualifications, including a PGD certificate in War, Conflict and Development from the UK Open University, a certificate in Gender Equality from the Center for Human Rights, University of Pretoria, South Korea. Among other things, I will allow her to be able to introduce herself fully. So I want to use this opportunity now to welcome our guest speaker. I'm going to pin her up now, Miss Ramatu Umar Bako. You're welcome on this EPBWN one-on-one interview with Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam. I would like you to introduce yourself the way the audience and people who will watch this video would like to know you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Princess Nwakego, for this opportunity. Thank you to everyone that has taken time out of their busy schedule to be here to listen to me today. I wanted to just add that I have a third master's from the University of Glasgow. And it's on adult learning, community development, and youth work. It's one that is really special to me because it speaks to the work I do within the community. So without much, well, I would just like to introduce myself as someone that is very passionate about women's causes. I'm really passionate about giving people the opportunity to excel, to aspire, and I try my best in my little sphere of influence to support, to encourage, to mentor young, girls and women, and also men who are interested to the best of my ability, because I passionately believe in the mantra that no one should be left behind. Um, I am from northern Nigeria. I grew up in different countries. A lot of my experience, or some of my experience, mirrors the experience of Mrs. Pam's children. And my mom, I think, will relate to a lot of some of the experiences she has had and reflected in her book, in her memoirs, as being the wife of a diplomat. My father was a diplomat and he served in 11 countries. So growing up, I lived in different countries, as diverse as Russia, Australia, Turkey, Ethiopia, and so many other countries, varying lengths of time. The longest I lived in any country was in Turkey, where we stayed for 4 years. And we came back to Nigeria. I attended St. Louis College, Jos. So a shout out to all my classmates that are here. It was really a great privilege and a great experience.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So I attended St. Louis. My parents still live in Jos. So my roots are firmly rooted in Jos, in Plateau State. I actually consider myself as a citizen or an indigene of Jos, maybe even if it's an honorary indigene, by virtue of the fact that a lot of my friends, my networks are from Jos. Even my husband, grew up in Jos as well. He went to St. Joseph. He went to St. Joseph's College. His own family, a lot of them are also based in Jos. So with that being like a snapshot of my early beginnings, I would say that I've had in terms of my career generally, I would say I've had a very diverse career. Sometimes when I'm doing a job application or I'm a job interview, people always say, you really have a very diverse background. And it's a kind of background that you really have to read between the lines to really be able to grasp the diversity of skills you can bring to each role. So if you've observed my trajectory, like some people, they'll be like, oh, all the jobs they've ever had is gender. So they'll be here, gender this, gender that, or they move to project this, project that. But you see from my career progression, I've worked in different areas. I've worked in diversity and inclusion. I've worked in engagement. Well, I'm currently working in engagement and participation, which is more or less communication, stakeholder management kind of thing. I've worked in influencing, public engagement, and that kind of thing. So I would say that I started my work career working at the International Human Rights Law Group. It was an internship position, and it's a very, should I say, the opportunity I had for that role really demonstrates the kind of person I am. And that's someone that does not really believe there are barriers or there are limitations. I was doing my NYSC. I served at CBN in Abuja, the Career Development Department. And, we in between, like we used to read newspapers. Well, some of us, I'm the kind of person that loves reading. I read a lot, right from a very young age. My companion is a book. Even as I am now, I read every week, every day on my Kindle. So every day, every week, I finish a book. unless maybe something so reading was really something I would do, reading and going through newspapers. And when people used to talk about what we do after NYSC, I was really clear on what I wanted to do. I was clear that I wanted to volunteer. I was also clear that I wanted to make an impact. And I was also clear that even if I was not remunerated or paid for it, I was willing to keep myself busy to learn. And this was like part of an experience I had when I attended the Ahmadu Bello University. We were the unlucky set that stayed home for 14 months because of a strike when ABU was shut down for 14 months, and we were given a military administrator. During that 14 months period, I attended Alliance Française in Jos to polish up on my French. I also went to Tin City Driving School. And I also, at a point where my younger one was in Corona Primary School, they needed a French teacher. And she actually told them that her sister can speak French, and because they were so desperate, they actually reached out to me one day when I went to pick my younger sister in my car that I learned how to drive with. And I told them, well, I was at Alliance Française, I was at the intermediate level, and I know the basics, and I would be happy, to demonstrate my skills, pending when they got a teacher to teach French. So they actually gave me the opportunity. So I taught primary 1 to 6 French. It was a very good experience for me because I could actually put into practical use what I was learning at Alliance Française. And I wasn't paid until after like 7 months. Then the PTA put together some money and gave me 20,000 naira, But I did it with with all my passion, love, and joy, because I felt it was also a learning process. So when I was doing my NYSC, I gave that same passion and dedication to the work I was doing. It was also the same thing I did when I was doing my court attachment and chamber attachment. So that even when I finished my chamber's attachment with G. Ofodile Okafo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, he invited me to come back and work with his law firm, while I was waiting for something to do. So I saw an advert looking for internships at the International Human Rights Law Group, and I applied. And as I was applying, my other fellow coppers were laughing at me. They're like, you think you can apply, you think in Nigeria you apply for a job, in a newspaper and you get it. And I was like, how else are you supposed to apply for a job, if you don't get it? And they all laughed at me, even some of the permanent full staff of CBN. I was like just a joke, but I applied, and to my surprise, because I actually believed what they were saying at that point, very young and naive, I was invited for an interview. And I showed my boss and my other colleagues. They were like, you won't get it, Jare. They've already selected. But me, I was like, oh, since I could get an invitation, when people thought I would not get an invitation, I didn't care. I went, researched the company, and went, and I performed well at the interview, and I got that internship. So at a point where people were not sure of their left and right, I passed out on Thursday. I resumed work on Monday, and they were paying me in USD, as an intern. Yes. So I joined the organization, and I was open and willing to learn, working with different departments until I was now sort of shoved in a limelight. What I would say my baptism of fire into the work of activism and women's rights. I don't know if some of you have heard of the case of Amina Lawal that was sentenced to death. In the year 2002, there was this brouhaha about Nigeria becoming a Sharia country, and some states had adopted Sharia law, Katsina and Sokoto. So there was this lady, Amina Lawal, that was sentenced to death for committing adultery. And of course, there was a lot of international outcry and uproar. And within civil society came together to set up a defense for Amina Lawa. We worked with, so my organization, International Human Rights Law, was, the lead organization, working with, of course, larger other organizations like RAPA, working with Hawa Ibrahim, who was our lead counsel, and so many other people, including Islamic clerics. And I was, I was put as part of the legal defense team. My role was basically note-taking and research, helping, the seniors on the team. And it was a very, should I say, powerful experience, because you can imagine being oh, I'm hearing echo. Okay. You can imagine being a young, fresh Newig being thrust in the middle of an international case. The subterfuge of, sneaking into Katsina, hiding, because there was a time there was a death sentence placed on her. And even all of us that were defending her, they now said that we are supporting iniquity. So any of us, if they catch us, they should just kill us. So you can imagine me going with my notepad, always writing notes, doing research, and working with them. But it exposed me, because I was now part of the Northern Nigeria Sharia Stakeholder Committee, where I learned, taking notes, learned a lot. And being a new lawyer, the law that I'd studied was still very fresh in my mind, which I was able to articulate and use, which was of benefit to the legal team. And as we did the research, what would I say? The case was very clear, like cut and dry, so we're just looking for a technicality or a loophole to which we could use to save this woman's life, because the agitation for the death sentence to be, upheld was very high. And CNN was there. I was interviewed by CNN on my role and, my thoughts and perceptions. You can imagine at that young age, I had that international opportunity to speak to a wider audience. And in the course of research, we're all talking, the ulamas will come, the Islamic clerics will come, the lawyers will come, they'll say Nigerian constitution, they'll look the penal code this, the Sharia law says this, all these points and facts had to be synthesized. And in the course of it, they were now looking for a loophole. And there I was, small meal, sat down and just mentioned to one of the legal team that they say she committed adultery. But technically, just a very simple point, as of the time they say she committed adultery, it was during her Idda period. So technically, she was still married to the husband. So, and the law is that any child born, during a subsistence of a marriage or during the Idda period belongs to the husband. So I said, so technically, she has not committed adultery, So he was just laughing, saying, go and sit down, you do speak English, But then the amazing thing was that as it was repeated among the legal team, they saw that this simple statement, born out of innocence, was really the crux of the matter. And once it was tabled and evidence was, demonstrated, it now became what the whole legal team was hanging on to save this woman's life. And at the end of the day, that was the technicality we needed to, win that case and save the woman's life. I know there were a lot of high-profile Nigerians involved. So obviously, everybody trying to take credit for, everything that happened. But then it was something that was pivotal, and it taught me a lot, because being very young, I would watch, I would observe what they were doing and learn and absorb, and that has also come to play over the years. So that was just the genesis. So from there, I was kind of headhunted.
Before you go from there, let's take a breather. I'll read out some messages in the chat and then welcome the new people that joined us. And if there are questions from the little you have shared, then we take it from there.
Okay.
My name is Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam. I'm the founder and chairperson of the Expert Professional and Business Women's Network International. I am so happy that you tuned into this EPBWNI one-on-one interview with Mrs. Ramatu Umar Bako, an interesting personality that I've known for the past close to 20 years now, if not mistaken. We work together at the British Council and we've been collaborating on a lot of projects and activities together. So in the chat, we have a message from Titi Lola. I can resonate with most of what you are saying. I would definitely love to connect with you. So Ramatu, she's also in the UK, so you can meet up in person. You can have a Zoom call. You can have a chat as you wish it to be. And then from Yvonne said, I am learning already. Very, please mute your mic. Very inspiring and brave. Yes, I concur with that. And she also said, wow, life-changing breakthrough, power of innocence and intuition. Congratulations. That was a powerful story you shared with us. I want to open it to the audience. For those who were not here when we started, I see Dr. Bumi, I see Lucien, Infinix Smart. Usually would like you to put your name so that we can relate with you one-on-one. Make it personal so that you can enjoy this experience. We have a Zoom user and also for security so that we know who is in our midst, so that whatever that is shared here is not misrepresented. So if you can change your names to your proper name so we can address you. And for those of you joining us, you're welcome. We love having you here and God bless you. So if you have any question for Mrs. Bako, this will be the time where she takes a breather and answer your questions or your grievings. So you can all unmute. Yeah. Any question for Mrs. Bako? Dr. Bumi, you want to unmute and introduce yourself? I see Blessing Onyaza. And then who else joined
Thanks
us?
for having me. I'm sorry I tuned in late. I only just got the invitation yesterday, but I knew it was something I wanted, to at least be a part of. Keep up the good work, both of you, and I'll just listen in. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I just saw Blessing. Blessing, do you want to introduce yourself? Lucien? Is Lucien there? You want to introduce yourself? Any question? Okay, yes, Yvonne has her hands up. Yvonne, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I mean, this is not even a question. I mean, I'm sitting here and my socks is already blown off my feet, just listening to the prelude. This is actually just the tip
beginning,
of
yes.
what Remy is about to share with us. I always looked at her from a distance as someone who was so driven, and to think that, she got herself an international job paying dollars right after school. I think that is such a powerful, powerful story. Remy, mine is not a question, maybe a suggestion or maybe a question. What have you done with this amazing life story? Is it captured somewhere? Are you following in Mrs. Pam's footsteps to deliver the books one after the other? Because honestly, I mean, we worked together, but I never even knew that you were Honorable Ambassador's daughter as well. And I'm not surprised now that I know, because I'm sure that the mentoring and the coaching started at a very early age. But very powerful sharing, very powerful experience that I think will benefit a lot of very young people. And I'm very thankful that you didn't give up and very thankful that you didn't listen to the naysayers, because you'll always find those in your scheme, in your background, in your fraternity. And I think the key is not to listen and to, keep yourself driven. So 2 questions there. One is how you're going to document this amazing experience. And 2, what 2 things actually kept you going and prevented you from paying attention to all the voices around you and to go for this amazing dream. And I think the third one will be this breakthrough you had with the case and, how you didn't even become afraid. It's like, I want to share this. Wouldn't they think I'm too small? Wouldn't they think I'm too junior? But you also had the confidence to be able to share. I think a lot of young people are sitting on ideas and dreams, but do not have the confidence to put it forward for one reason or the other. So what was your source of inspiration?
Thank you so much, Dr. Yvonne. I think basically I'd always say my source of inspiration were my parents, especially my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. And if you're a daddy's girl, you can conquer anything because once you have your father behind you, telling you that you can achieve anything you put your mind to, there's that protection. You have that solid weight behind you. You can conquer anything. And it's the words that he always shared with me and my younger ones growing up that has always been my guiding light. So that gave me the courage to speak, even when I was told to keep quiet, or even when I was afraid, to stand for what I believe in, and that has been what has guided me. You say, ask for two things. Two things is if I believe in a cause, I will stand by that cause till the end, And also, I always believe that if I can't say my truth or if I can't speak my truth, I would rather not say anything. So if I'm going to speak, I'm going to say it the way, I believe it should be. So that has been my guiding light. In terms of what I've done with it, I know a lot of people have asked or suggested over the years that I put it into a book or compile, some of these things. And it's something I hope to do sometime. I do have a lot of writings that I keep randomly. It's just putting them together, and, in such a way that, it would really speak to the kind of person I am. I still feel I'm evolving. I still feel I'm growing, but then it's something that I would take, on board seriously. So I would
Let me
say
come
that,
in there and,
yeah,
open a door for you. The
yeah,
Expert Professional and Business Women's Network International, we have a publishing house. And that is the
okay,
publishing house that have been publishing my stories and all my books. So as a member and a partner and a collaborator, all you need to do is to submit your transcript and we work together to have it published, self-published, so that you have access to the book and you can have it on Amazon, just like I have started writing my books and putting all the different aspects of my life, writing them in my own voice in different books. You can do that since you have experience in very diverse fields,
yeah,
accumulating to being your career life. So this is an open invitation for you. We will help you publish your book at the minimum cost. I can assure you that, and it will be a source of what is it called?
a
Income, soft
legacy,
income,
yes.
and a
Okay.
legacy for people to hear your voice. Like I said, when I was publishing uh, your story, your voice is your power. Don't silence your voice, and I always say to my husband, he has so much knowledge in his head that I would not want those knowledge to just be with him. He needs to share them by either going back to the university to be a professor to teach or start writing. Once you write, you can store all this knowledge for legacy, for generations to come, to know who you are and to benefit from your knowledge and your expertise. So, and as we
Yeah.
open this opportunity to Ramatu, we're opening to all the women here. We're still running the niche series. We have volume 3. So if you're interested in being part of the niche series, it's a 5 series book. We've written volume 1 and volume 2. We're now on volume 3 and 4 and 5. I'm looking at in the next 2 years to have all the 5 series published. Please, if you're interested, you can leave your name and phone number and email in the chat so that we can follow up with you, so that this will be a reality for a lot of women that want to publish their story and tell their stories in their authentic voice. Thank you. So I want to follow up this conversation with you in light of what you have done in your leadership role, in all these positions that you have attained in the different institutions. How have you utilized your leadership? What impact have you been able to create for other women and men? Because I know you work with both genders.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of my leadership roles, I've worked with quite diverse organizations, from the British Council to Oxfam, to Save the Children. I was also once the executive director of the Nigerian Bar Association. You know, I guess basically what I've done in my leadership role is just to be myself, to be, to demonstrate those attributes that I feel make a good leader. And some of them include, when you talk about being fair, being just.
I remember you for that.
Yes, a lot of people always, when they talk of leadership, they will say there are so many things people say. But I feel my personality is someone that believes in justice, social justice in any form. I always say that if something is true, if it's just, like I always tell my friends, if they come to meet me for my opinion, I always ask them, do you want me to tell you what I really think? Or is it what you want to hear? And I'll tell you, from a professional point of view, this is this. From a personal point of view, this is this. And I would say that my leadership style is telling the truth with honesty, with empathy, with kindness. You can deliver bad news, or give a punitive measure, but with compassion. And because of the positions I've held, I've been many times chairing disciplinary panels, many times overseeing, issues of gross misconduct and negligence, safeguarding issues. And I've had to look at the facts of the case, what is available, the evidence available, and give my professional and personal judgment. And in doing all of this, I always make sure that, is it fair? Is it just? Is it something that will allow me to sleep well at night? And that has been my guiding principle. It doesn't mean I'm a perfect human being, but I believe that if you are dealing with people, they should, to a large extent, be able to speak for you, even when you're not there. And I think I've been fortunate in the kind of people I've worked with. After they've worked with me for some time, there are things that I've heard so many times. Somebody will say, that is not Ramatu. I don't think Ramatu couldn't have said that. There was even a situation in one of the places I worked with that the line manager, a narcissistic person, was trying to knock the head of my team members. So he'll come and lie to me and say, this person said this person said this. Then go back and tell my team members that I, as their team lead, said this and that. And they would come back and tell me that this person said this, but they told him it's not possible. Ramatu can't say that. I know Ramatu, she can't say that. They will tell me.
Testimony.
And that thing used to drive him crazy, because the assumption is that most people, because of fear of their jobs, they would lie and say, but for some reason, when I engage with people, they know me. My yes is yes, my no is no. There are no short corners. Do you understand? If I don't have anything nice to say, I'll just keep quiet and be looking, and I'll smile. But I believe that those are principles that I use on a daily basis. Some people assume that if you are a strict person or you follow due process, you have to be aggressive, you have to be shouting, and but I'm a very gentle person, soft-spoken, and I speak my truth, quietly. So a lot of times people do underestimate me, because I love fashion, I love makeup. and I always look good. So there's this assumption that if you look good or you must spend a lot of time looking good. And that means you don't have anything upstairs. But
Not
I'm
true.
always so happy when I shock people. They never see me coming because they underestimate the power of my knowledge, the power of my strength, the power of my motivation. If I believe in a cause, I will stand, I will fight till the end. Just like if I support somebody, any of my team members, I go all out for them. I'm not expecting any applause or anything. It's just because I feel it's the right thing to do. And I always tell people my leadership style is that your team members must know, they must feel that you have their back.
Yeah.
Your team members must know that you believe in them. And the way I do is that I try to understand my team members. And I'm very clear that we all have different personalities.
True.
I don't have time to say, I don't like this person, I don't like this, she does this, she does that. Those things actually don't matter to me. Mine is that if you are to do a job, are you able to do the job? Can you deliver? And can you deliver in a way that makes me happy? And I'm not the kind of person that is finicky. I will say it must be like this. You must deliver. No, I'll ask you, this needs to be done. This is our timeline. When do you think you can achieve it? Then I leave it to you to achieve it as long as you are meeting the timeline. They say there's this saying that there are many ways of catching a rat. And I firmly believe that, but the challenges that people have is that if they want something, they want it when they want it, and they want things being done in a particular way. But I'm not of that school of thought. I believe that there are different ways you can achieve or deliver on a project. Maybe it's because of vast experience and also my understanding of human nature. I know how to approach each of my team members to get at what I want. So that's why when people say, this person is difficult, how were you able to approach? And I'm like, I don't know. Once I understood the person's personality, I try to find a way to engage with that person based on what needed to be done. And I always tell people, mine is that we have our timeline, we have our work plan, we have our deliverables, we all understand what we're trying to achieve in terms of outcomes. Once the team, you are able to engage your team in that conversation, and we all know what we are doing and what we need to achieve, what we stand to gain or what we also stand to lose. I think once there's that base understanding, people can now are free to flourish and deliver at pace. So I always say, whatever, as long as you said by Friday you are going to deliver. If by Friday you should deliver, and if there's anything that will stop you from delivering on Friday, send me a message and say, sorry, I cannot deliver because of A, B, C. However, let me know. I'm hoping that in a week's time, I will be able to deliver. And I'm okay with that. Once I have that and we have that understanding, wherever I am at any meeting, I can defend my team member.
Fantastic.
It's all about communication, being informed. That's my leadership style. And also, a lot of times, people mix personal and private. I try to demarcate that. If we are friends, we are friends. If we are colleagues, we are colleagues. If we're in the office, I remember one line manager once gave an example when there was an issue in team. I was like, once you enter the gate of British Council, leave your personal problems behind. Put on your professional face. Come in and do what needs to be done. Then as you are going out of the gate of British Council, keep British Council wahala behind and face your home. And I actually took it literally. It's like I shut down. So when I enter the office in the morning, I'm here ready to do my work and I focus on what needs to be done. And I'm an action person. I believe in results. So even if people are gossiping, I may listen, but it goes through one ear and the other. My end is just do what you need to do. All that is story. Entertainment is fun in the office. Gossips are okay. But when it now impugns on someone's reputation or affects the work, that's when I have an issue. So my own leadership style is collaborative. I can be funny and free, and I want people to relax around me. I don't want people scared and say, mama. No, relax. Do you understand? But give me that respect in terms of what you need to do, do it. Don't say because I'm smiling or I'm free, you will not do your work. But once you are able to create that balance.
Balance.
You'll be fine with me.
Fantastic.
So
Fantastic. So I'll come in here.
Sure.
So in summary, you sound
Mm.
to me like an authentic leader. And I'm also using this opportunity to tell everybody here, please go and get a copy of The Power of an Effective Leader in Diaspora. It highlights the different types of leadership, personalities, and situations you can be in as a leader. So please just pick it up. And I also want to use this opportunity to read some of the new messages in the chat. This is from Ibrahim-Pam. Fantastic to hear the great work you did with the Amina Lawal case. And then we have another one from Yvonne. Absolutely, EPBWN is right. I'm sure she's talking about you coming to write your stories with us. We'll publish it at an affordable price for you. And then Marilyn says, so impressive and inspiring. Indeed, Ramatu. Thank you for the invitation to join you on this platform. Thank you, Princess Ibrahim-Pam, for extending your invitation to all to share our voices under our strength. If and when we are opportune to have our voices heard, may God bless you. Thank you very much. You are welcome. You can join the niche program. We will publish your stories for you, and we can do an individual book for you too if you are not interested in the collective volume of the niche. And Yvonne also wrote, Michelle Obama says she can only be herself. Being anyone is difficult, and all other perspectives are taken apart from hers. Empathy, compassion, truth, honesty, personal, professional, just and fair. Fantastic. I think there are more messages. I have used the sleep coefficient and peace factor as well. Amazing. So I think more messages are coming. Power of motivation, power of strength sounds like Maya Angelou's quote. Okay, and then we have Titi Lola. Micromanaging is not healthy. I agree with you so much, Ramatu. Phoenix, love gets the work, power only destroys. Fantastic. So love gets the work done. Even I've copied that quote. Love gets the work done, and power only destroys. And then we have Infinix, which I would love to know the person. Good evening, my boss, Princess, and Mrs. Ramatu. I am honored to be part of this conversation and experience career and business gain program. And I am learning a lot. Keep on the good work, ma. The Amina law case is the best news. Thank you. So today we have engagement. Dr. Bumi said this has been the most engaging session. Unfortunately, I have to leave due to prayer engagement. Please keep up the good work, Ramatu, Umar, Bako. Your passion shines through all I have heard you say. Well done, Pam and the team at EPBWN for starting this series and all your other efforts. Thank you very much, Bumi. Have a lovely day. I hope your other um, event goes well. Oh, that is Mr. Ojo. Mr. Ojo, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. He's one of my staff in the collaboration I'm doing with the Stella Obasanjo, the Child Care Trust, Buhari in Abuja, and he's here. I'm happy that you said what you said about. I always say to them, I'm not your auntie, I'm not your mommy, I'm your colleague. And once we come, all I expect from you is professionalism. Do your work as you ought to do your work, and every other thing will be okay. So fantastic. So in light of what has been shared from the participants and what you have shared, we want to find out any position you've been in that is mainly dominated by men, and how you were able to break the glass ceiling, if any existed.
Well, when I was the executive director of the Nigerian Bar Association for a little bit less than a year, um, I would say, the legal profession, there are a lot of women, but it's actually male dominated.
Hmm.
There are lots, we live in a patriarchal society, so that informs the actions of a lot of people. And knowing the law or being a lawyer sometimes is not just enough. But at the time I joined the NBA, they had the prior administration had conducted, a forensic audit of the administration, the finances, of the operations and structure, everything of the MBA with KPMG. And in spite of or despite a lot of politics, because I thought it was just an administrative position, but with time I actually realized it's a political appointment, So once I was able to key in, I had to find it within myself to find the best way to be able to at least achieve something, you know. My hands were tied in a lot of things, but one thing that I wasn't done was being, when it came to due diligence, putting in structures, designing an organogram, designing job descriptions, for some of the key staff, and writing a report in terms of my reflections, And one of the challenges I faced was that even though I was the executive director, there are times that we had to attended meetings with senior judges, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, and some other senior lawyers, and I had to be firm and professional in my engagement with them. You will not believe that there are situations where some will say they would like a cup of tea and they would like me to make it for them, and I'll tell them, thank you, sir. I would have made it for you, but unfortunately, I'm unable to. But if you can tell me what type of tea you want, my PA would be able to get it for you. So once you are polite and firm, they stand back, because one thing I see with a lot of women is that they try so much to be liked. They feel by being pleasing and being liked, they will have an easy ride. I've never subscribed to that anyway. Maybe I'm too spoiled. I like myself so much and I like things being comfortable. So anything that takes me out of my comfort zone, I don't like it. And one thing I don't like is disrespect, and I want to be seen as a professional. If we're having a working relationship, it's professional, strictly professional. And I know, and being the daughter of a diplomat, you know how to answer questions. You know how to be polite. You know how to put on that professional, gift as you carry yourself. So those were some of the challenges. So very early on, a lot of them learned that this ED is not one that shows her teeth too much. Like even when I'm working, I have a smiley face, but when I'm working and I have a task to do, I face it. And I expect everyone to compose themselves. So I've had situations where people ask, how do you work with men? Being a young lady or being attractive. I say, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I'm not a beauty queen. I'm here to deliver a job. So depending on what my job description is, I'm here to deliver that service. Anyone that does not understand that, I very quickly inform them, let them know. And after a while, they arrange themselves. Do you understand? And also not being available. I'm not like a party person. I'm a family person. I'm married. I have children and I have my commitment. So when there's a closing time, I go home and I face my family. Yes, in the course of my work, sometimes there are evening events. There are times I have to travel for conferences. I always say, carry yourself with professionalism and nobody will cross you. And also because I have a very sharp mouth too.
Yeah.
If you push me the wrong way, I know how to answer you, and I'll
Ramatu,
say it quietly and it will hit you the mark. So
please
basically,
let me come in here because you're cracking me up. And it's nice that Yvonne is here. You remember when we're in British
I'm
Council?
laughing too.
When we're in British Council and in 2004, when my husband had to go to the UK for Chevening scholarship, and they used to have those evenings wine drinking, and once it's 4:45 or 5 and I'm picking my bag and I'm going home, and my boss would say, you're not a team player. And I said to her, I have 5 kids. And Ibrahim is your friend. If I'm here hanging around drinking wine and being a team player, what happens to my 5 kids, and or what are you going to say to my husband? So it's very important as a woman when you work in a professional environment to keep your boundaries, to know that and don't be blackmailed. Don't be treated in a way where they make you lower your obligation to your family. And this question, this will lead us to how you are able to manage your professional life and your being a mother, a wife, and also your personal growth. So in British Council, I made it very clear with my team that anything after 5 p.m. is not for me. I don't hang around the office. I have so much to do at home. At that time, being a single parent of 5 kids, I don't have the time to hang around and drink wine. But during the afternoon when we had lunch, Madam Yvonne is here. I engage them to go and have a coffee or upstairs at the top roof restaurant. So for women who are in professional environment, please don't be pressurized into compromising your home situation just to belong to a clique of colleagues at the office. You should be able to separate when you are putting your duly 8 hours work to the office and go home to do what is responsible for your family and yourself, because you need the rest. A lot of women have, like she said, always trying to be nice, always trying to be available, and they can't get that balance of what professionalism is and what your duties are to your team or your office, and what you need to do at home. So thank you. So that takes me to the next question for you, Ramatu. How have you been able to juggle being a mother of 2 beautiful, intelligent, daughters, and a wife to in my place they call them chief or oba in Nasarawa State, and having this fantastic career that you've embarked on for the past 20 years?
I would say I'm a very organized person, basically. I always have a notebook how I manage my time. And, I always put myself on the spot in terms of having a timeline of what I want to achieve within a particular time. I'm not ashamed to say I write lists to go shopping. I write lists to do things. So even when I got married, I didn't have children till after 6 years. You know, I had a child that died at birth. Before these ones came. So I had a long time of practicing what I wanted, and because of my organizational skills, I know how to arrange. Do you understand? Even before I started having children. Friday after work, in BC, we used to close around that one. I'll enter market, buy all the things I needed to do. Then Saturday morning, I'll wake up, take my bath. Even when I got married very early. I'll wake up Saturday morning, maybe like around 7, go out and take my bath. Then I'll be dressed. My husband will say, "Where are you going?" I say, "I'm going to the kitchen." He said, "Early this morning." Yeah, I'll say, "Yes, now I'm going to start making soup." He'll be like, "Must it be now?" I say, "I've planned my day. Just allow me." And I'll go and I'll just wear a boo-boo. Just take my bath beneath, wear something simple, either a boo-boo or shorts and a top, go down to my kitchen, boil my meat, chicken, or whatever. And I'll cook 4 different soups: stew, okra, ogbono, egusi, and sauce, liver and kidney sauce. And I'll make them, boil them up. Then I'll cook maybe tuwo or rice on that Saturday for what we eat during the day. Arrange, clean everywhere. And my day is sorted. And I'll now get myself, if I have a magazine or a book or I'm watching a movie, I'll put my music with my headphones in the kitchen and be doing my thing. That was even before I got house help, and I'll do what I need to do. By 1 o'clock, I've finished. Food is ready. My house is neat the way I want it. So it's all about planning. And even when I eventually started having kids, because I already had a routine, I would train the house helps I had, to follow that routine. And God was so kind, I had a house help that is still my house help. And she's, even though I'm here in the UK now, she's working with my parents. So she has been with me for over 20 years now, you know. So, or with the family, you know. So she knew what I needed and I give good instructions. I was able to balance that. And like I said, when I come home, I forget about work because the nature of my work has always been very intense. Either we're writing proposals, we're writing reports, we're drafting programs, we're doing that. So it's actually very intense work, morning to evening, you know. And I realized that I can't take it back home because it will drive me nuts. And like I always say, I like soft life. I don't like wahala. So whatever cannot be finished at the end of the day, it will just end there. My laptop in my bag, my notebook closed till the following morning, you know. So when I wake up in the morning, I already say, okay, what I didn't achieve yesterday, what can be done today? And you have to be flexible, knowing that some things you can achieve immediately, some will take longer. But just having that plan and being flexible and adaptable enough to change as situation changes helped me. And also the other way around, work problem, I try not to bring it home so that home is a time that we can laugh and gist. And of course, there are certain things that happen, you know, in both our offices that we talk. And it didn't help that my work involved me traveling. His own work involved him traveling. So the few times that we meet or we have together, you know, we are catching up on gist. You know, and that has always been helpful to me. Like I always say, during the day, people always say they try to reach me, they won't get me. I say during the day, my phone is on silence because I'm focused on the work. If we have break or lunchtime, then I can take my phone and catch up on messages. You will not catch me on WhatsApp during the day unless I am either on a break or in transit, meaning I'm going from one meeting to another meeting or I'm on my way home. Not when they call hours that I'm doing work. It's all, I always say it's all about discipline.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something that I've tried to imbibe. Wake up early in the morning, make your own bed, arrange your own room. I know children, they see as you do it now, and they too, they copy. Even my teenage girls, I have a 13-year-old, I have a 17-year-old, they too, they are like that too. They arrange their room, they arrange them things. Of course, they are a bit, they are not as bad as me in terms like weekends, they sleep in. You understand? But I know that whenever they wake up, they will arrange. So basically, that's the balance. And also, I always encourage people to, apart from keeping your work life, maintaining those boundaries between work and office, you also need to take care of yourself. Me, what I find relaxing is when I go to the salon and they're losing my hair. I'm always wearing my turban, but I always have hair plaited. If anyway, national anthem for the past almost 20 years is shuku, so that my turbans tie well. But I'll relax. They'll do me a pedicure. They'll plait my hair. Sometimes I'm listening to the gossip in the salon, you know, or I'm just I have my earpiece on. I'm listening to music, or I'm scrolling on social media, or if there's a book, one of my Kindle books that I'm reading that is so in, you know, I love the storyline. It's so engaging. I'll just be reading. It's a form of relaxation. So I always tell women, find something that makes you relax, whether it's reading, whether it's cooking, whether it's baking, whether it's sewing. You know, I love music a lot, whether I'm cooking or till date. So a habit I've had for over 20 years. I have my earphones and I'm listening. I have a wireless one separate from this work one. I keep this in my bag with my laptop. I don't use it for anything. The one I use for my music or around the house, I keep it separately, you know, so that I have many of it. So I'm not looking for saying, oh, I don't have this, I don't have. So I put music, and you know, when you're cooking, music is playing, you're dancing. To me, it relaxes me as I'm washing, cutting, chopping, cooking, and before you know it, I've finished what you know, that's my own way of relaxing. Even if I'm cleaning around the house or my room or folding things, I have music playing in the background. Even in the office, I have my earpiece tuned to, I have 4 stations: classicals, soft jams, 80s music, and there's one Capital FM here in the UK.
Let us have a break there. Because
yes,
the
to
next
relax.
question would, now you will relax a bit and we hear from our our participants, if there are questions, if you have any question, raise your hands while I ask the next question. I just want to dive into being a Muslim woman that has this freedom that I have seen working closely with you and seeing your social media handles and the way you express yourself. Have you been able to manage it that there has not been a backlash, or has there been pressures, or how, as you and your husband being in the position of leadership that he is in his community, how have you been able to also manage that? Before you answer, is there anybody that want to say anything or they have a question for Ramatu, so that she can take a break? Any comment, even if it's not a question? Anybody? Anybody has any contribution? Okay, okay, yeah. Dr. Angela, please unmute and ask and make your contribution.
Hi, once again, good evening, everybody. Wow, Barrister Ramatu. I'm just in awe of all that you have said and so far, and I can resonate with you on so many areas. I just want to add a voice to your last comment that talks about taking care of ourselves and relaxing. I think most women, particularly professionals, lost themselves while trying to be the best at what they do for work, be the best mother, be the best wives and daughter to family and all that. And we just lost ourselves in that entire process. So I just want to add that it's high time we start to put ourselves on the agenda. I know that what the role we play as women, as mothers, as wives, as career people can impact on us and can be cumbersome and overwhelming. But we should just find that time. I love music too. So I play music, I try to relax, So just find that thing that makes you relax once in a while. If it means you going to splurge some cash on yourself, just do it for your own mental well-being.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Any other person? Any other person wants to say anything or contribute to what Ramatu has been sharing with us? If there isn't any, then Ramatu, can you just share with us how you've been able to cope based on your religious background and the challenges? I want you to share so that other women in your position will be able to understand how you've been able to navigate this very difficult balance between your religious background, your career, and your social life, because you have a very active social life and your followings are across religious platforms. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Pam. I think basically it's because of the upbringing I had, being the daughter of a diplomat. You know, my father was also very social, even though, being a Muslim man, but, living in Western countries and being a diplomat, there's this, to be effective as a diplomat, you have to attend social gatherings and engage with a wide diversity of people. So growing up, we learned and we appreciated it. Till date, I have friends across all cultures, religions, what have you, all over the world, because I believe in one humanity. I see people as individuals. And I went to a Catholic secondary school.
Yes,
so that also influenced me. So a lot of my friends are Catholics, and some of them are runaway Catholics. They've become Protestants and other things, But that innocence of secondary school, we just liked each other because we liked each other. At that point, politics had not come, and religion was just something you grew up with and, part of your life. So it wasn't as contentious as it was now. So we're just innocent and we made friends, we liked each other, and we grew up with that belief system. And having lived in different countries among people that don't even see religion as anything,
Yeah.
You know, it also influenced my worldview and world thinking. So as a Muslim woman, I always tell people that when some people tell me, you don't behave like a Muslim, kuku change now, kuku convert. And I was like, I went to a Catholic school. Maybe 70% of my friends till date are from that school, and I didn't convert. So obviously it wasn't part of my destiny. You know, I'm a Muslim, I'm proud of it, and I believe that religion is personal. It's
Very
between me
personal.
and the Almighty.
Yeah.
So it's not something I use or engage in conversations with my friends. You understand? I can be with my friends and they are going to church or they are praying. I know all about it. It doesn't affect me. Just like if my friends are with me and I need to pray or something, we are just used to each other and it's just not an issue, you know? So as a Muslim woman with my level of freedom, which I know is, I think it boils down to the way I was brought up and also with my strong personality. I believe in being my authentic self, and I never hid that from my husband. He knew the kind of person I was, and that's the kind of person that if I want something, I go for it. If I believe in something, I believe. There's a strength of character you have that is unshakable.
Yeah.
Nobody can break you. Nobody can turn you like this because I have my own mind. I believe I can listen to 10 different perspectives. But at the end of the day, it's what I want to do, I will do. And it's what I assess the situation to be that I will do. So I'm not distracted by noise or people's perspectives. And I also don't believe in playing to the gallery, whether you like me or not. Do you know, I actually don't mind. Do you understand? My own is just respect me. Give me that respect. Because you can like somebody and not respect the person. Do you understand? But you cannot you cannot you cannot respect somebody you don't like. So once I have that, I'm like, respect is enough. Good morning. This is what we need to do, and that's it. So as a Muslim woman, it wasn't easy for me because my husband's family are very conservative, are very traditional. So early on, there were clashes, but I think I was equal to the task. I would share, like, one of the first challenges is that I grew up, I wasn't using hijab. Maybe if he's doing salah, we need to pray. But basically, when they're doing soul to soul in university with long braids, when is it darling or whatever I came in, I was darling in with all my age mates, So even when I got married, I would have my gele, loosely around my head, but it wasn't something I would use. And half the time, like when my friends would say, if you don't have Ramatu's gele, one of Ramatu's geles in your house, that means she doesn't visit you, because I'll go and I'll forget it because it wasn't something that was me. So when I found this turban, thanks to one Rashida, it has been my signature and I have it in almost every single color. And I have Ghana must go with my parents in Jos, even with my sister in Abuja, so that wherever I am, and here I have my Ghana must go of different colors. So wherever I am, I always find the color that I need. But it wasn't easy because they were conservative. And unfortunately for me, the nature of work I was doing, like in British Council, is front facing.
Yeah.
We're always on TV, we're always at interviews, we're at workshops, I'm delivering trainings, I'm carrying young people, whether it's global exchange volunteers, Oibo, foreigners, Nigerians, I'm taking them round everywhere. So it wasn't easy and they're not used to it. Like I'd have situations where maybe I would go to Lagos or Kanu, and maybe where I had in-laws, they would expect me to come and stay with them. And me, I'll be like, no, I'm staying in a hotel. And they'll be like, how would you want to stay in a hotel? I should come to their house, And me, as a young person then, I would be like, when I have a hotel room, I can order room service, what I want, all to myself. Why would I want to go and manage inconvenience somebody that is giving me their bedroom? And I can't sleep when I want to sleep. I can't listen to my music. I can't read my book, So it was like a clash. They'll be like, just go and stay there for one night now, or sign of respect. Or they'll be like, I'm in one was saying I'm in one hotel to the other. I said, oh, so long as you are not the one paying for it, allow me to be in my hotel. So I always had those conversations, and I always had a ready answer anyway. So after a while, they left me to my own. Well, I would say they got to understand my personality, and I think they now got well, some got comfortable, some didn't, but it didn't really matter to me. I was just myself, and I think also my husband knew that this is just me, and he accepted it. So of course, like every young couple, we had those periods of trying to understand each other, quarreling and arguing, and me trying to assert my personality, my authority, and having to give way. So all I did is learn to pick my fights. And my initial compromise I think, was when I started the turban. Although it helped that I felt it looked good, but that was my compromise. But wearing the more traditional dressing wasn't my own thing. But I do believe I'm modest. It's just that wearing maybe a hijab is not my own ideal. And as far as I'm concerned, with my own research, my understanding of my religion, modesty, I believe I'm modest enough, and that nobody knows the heart of the human person, And once people notice that you don't care, you do your own thing, after a while, they just learn to understand and engage. And also because I took time out to talk to some of the conservative family members that, look, this is me. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be or act in a particular way to please anybody. Because at the end of the day, it's me that I'll feel angry. It's me that will feel discontent. And I think once you tell yourself as a person that, look, this life is all about me. I always say it's a journey. We only have one shot. You cannot reverse and change certain things. And me, I'm the kind of person that I can worry. And, so I don't want anything there that will keep me up at night. That's why I try to the best of my ability to be fair and do right. Not maybe because I'm such a good person, but I don't want to be thinking and saying, hey, that thing I said, should I have said it? I shouldn't have said it. So I think well before I do. And there are times that I feel I've misstepped. I think I have the courage to go and apologize and say, I apologize. Please forgive me. It's not an issue with me. So I would say that to all people, religion is personal. I've also had my challenges with religion too, because the way Islam is practiced in Nigeria. I think if you grow up in such a toxic environment sometimes in Nigeria, for those of us that are exposed, we've lived and we've had the opportunity of engaging with people from either different religion or no religion, you ask certain questions. I've had my own internal battles, and I've reached a spiritual level where I understand where I'm going. And as long as I feel within myself, that I'm meeting my spiritual obligations, I'm okay. What any other person says, that's their business. It's between me and God. At the end of the day, it's me that will answer to,
Fantastic.
on Judgment Day. So my, what do you call it? My advice to people generally is that keep religion where it's supposed to be, personal, between you and God. Then there'll be no distractions. Then you can focus on what the Holy Book is really saying, not somebody's interpretation. I've never believed in going to any Islamic cleric or any malam to read or learn more about Islam when the Holy Quran is available to me to read in English. There are a lot of literature and documentation to read. And yes, if there are one or two questions you feel you need interpretation, you can go for. But I'm not of the school of thought that I believe that with my legal background, with my own brain, there are certain, if I read something, I will analyze it maybe with legal and what my heart tells me, and I follow it. So I think I always say, like, the way Islam is practiced in Nigeria is different. I'm here in the UK. I see the way other cultures practice Islam, and it's kind of different, and I believe that at the end of the day, the end goal is everybody is looking for salvation at the end of the day,
Amen.
forgiveness,
Yeah.
So I believe that if you approach it, keep it in that context, it's easier for you. So
Yeah.
that's my
Thank you.
advice, or the way it works for me, actually, because I don't believe in advising anybody when it comes to religion.
Religion,
You're on
yes.
your own. Yeah, so
Exactly. But I'm so happy you were able to shed light on how you've been able to navigate who you are, the person you are, and the things that you've been doing based on the point of view of your faith, as you get it. So now, I want you to start wrapping up with us and share with us your future.
Hello, just say
Yeah.
something.
Okay, please.
Thank
Who is
you.
speaking?
Yes, Simi,
Okay,
yes.
Simi, go ahead.
Yes, I'm quite very excited, to listen to Ramatu this time on a different perspective. I'm very
Bear with her reception. Simi, are you there? We lost you.
I'm a Catholic, and I'm telling you, Ramatu was the overall best graduating student in Christian religious knowledge when we were graduating from St. Louis College. How she does all of these things, sometimes I really do not understand, but this is how Ramatu has done, considering the fact that she is a Muslim from a good Muslim family, and has been able to do that. And basically, through life, beyond her just saying she has friends everywhere, I think most of Ramatu's friends are Christians till tomorrow. And we do have a very good understanding. I remembered when Ramatu was getting married, I happened to be there, one of the planners, and being there throughout with her, with all the friends she has and all of that. It's been very inspirational. And then over 40 years now that we knew ourselves as growing girls, Ramatu still stands a mentor and an inspiration to my very self today. All I can just say to her is kudos and best wishes to more possibilities in the years that lie ahead of us. Well done, Ramatu.
thank you so much, my
Thank you
dear
so much,
sister.
Simi. Thank you so much. So let me read one or two of the comments in the chat. Dr. Angela said, let's begin to put ourselves on the agenda. Today we came out with lots of quotes that during the week I'll be putting them up one after the other. And then Yvonne said, fantastic. You can't respect someone you don't like. Food for thought. Food for thought. I think we should go home and think about those who we respect and see if we like them, and those we don't respect, and let's see if we don't like them, so that we can readjust ourselves to know what is important. Oh, I see Mr. Pam raising his hand. Yes, how can I overlook that? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. Mr. Pam, you have the floor.
Thanks very much. No, I actually wanted to just shut up and listen. I was supposed to spend only 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but frankly, this has been quite a fascinating talk. And Ramatu, thank you so very much. You've given us a wonderful talk. And much respect to your father, who is one of Nigeria's pioneering and most distinguished diplomats, a role model for so many of us. And clearly, you've taken that mantle. So thank you. But if I may, just a question. I don't know how much time you have, but I think I really would like to ask this question. It's around and I respect your expertise as a lawyer, a human rights advocate, and a gender specialist. just in terms of gender roles and how these have evolved from one generation to another. And in this generation that you represent, you're very clearly symbolized for us how you assert, your values, not only in religion but also in the workplace and so on, with a gender lens, a gender perspective. But in that respect, if I may, and without impinging on anybody's privacy, just on the marital front, because there are lots of young people who are trying to figure out what gender roles are, and how to assert their personal aspirations. I don't talk about rights in a marital situation, because I think marriage is about responsibilities and about compromise rather than rights or duties as such. But how do you balance asserting your personal values and aspirations while protecting, the goal of marital harmony? And how do you avoid being belligerent or combative, and rather, promote sort of a collaborative and a peaceable way of resolving or achieving consensus around the values of in a marriage?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I always say that I'm still learning. You know, I've been married since 2003, and I would say that it's still a learning exercise. There are times that I've acted, in ways in the early years of marriage. Now I'm more diplomatic. I've learned, I've matured. But one thing I've always had at the back of my mind is that even though personally I don't believe that there are gender roles per se, because I believe it's fluid. Like when people talk about cooking, I feel it's a life skill. It shouldn't be you cook automatically because you're a girl. Or, and if you're a boy, you won't learn how to cook. It's a life skill. We all need it. At some point in a boy or man's life, he will need to learn how to cook at least the basics before, you know, he gets married. But then the reality is that why I say there are women that don't like cooking, girls that cannot cook. There are boys or men that cook very well and they actually love cooking. I believe that between couples, you just need to understand how to manage. And it's all about, like, I would say that in a lot of my roles, I've had to travel a lot. So I've had to organize my home in such a way that at least there's food for everybody. Everything is organized. And because I'm not there, I always tell people that I always say, what if I'm not there, Unko? Will you not survive? If I'm not there, that's the same strategy I use with my children. I want to make them independent so that if anything happens and I'm no longer there, they will not be helpless. They will not become a liability to my siblings that will be the ones that will now have to look after them. you know? So I would say that I try my best. Like even as I am, I've always made sure to try to cook. I don't like cooking, but I cook a lot and I cook very well. So people assume I like cooking, but it's a life skill I learned. Even though growing up, it was something that we always had people to do it, but my mom made sure we learned. It's the same thing I'm trying to imbibe to my children. But then I always say, try to understand each other and balance each other. There, there is no marriage without friction. But once there's that respect at the base, so that, because I believe that there are times that your spouse will make you so angry that sometimes you even hate him or her. But if that respect is there, those value you respect those values, those attributes are there. After a while, you can be able to adapt or manage any situation. But the issue we have with a lot of couples is that they don't like each other. Maybe they married for one reason or the other. Those of us that married maybe 20 or over 20 years ago, to a large extent, married because we actually like the person. But then I don't want to talk, it's like a totally different concept again, because they say the way it is in African culture or Nigerian culture is that a lot of people marry as a poverty alleviation strategy. If they finish school, they don't have work. The next thing is that they will tell them to go and marry. And because they don't want wahala, they will look for who they feel will meet those financial needs. So at the end of the day, they are not married for compatibility or partnership. Do you understand? They are married because that person is able to meet their financial need at that point. And the man feels this woman is able to meet their need for cooking, cleaning, and is it, what do you call it? Reproduction. So I think we need to have this conversation about what marriage really means for individuals. I believe that couples that are able to live together for a long time, understand each other, and people, I'm one of those people that believes that marriage is a partnership, and like every partnership, you invest financially, emotionally, psychologically, and whatever into that partnership. Because if you are not willing to invest, if you are not willing to cut your losses, you will suffer, and you will not be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So once you understand that it's a partnership, you will now understand, okay, what am I willing to do, as an individual to make this partnership work? Then once you have that conversation, you approach it from that business. I call it business model. People will be laughing. I said, that's the truth of the matter. If you are not invested in someone, you are not invested in a relationship, it's not going to work. So you will now say, this is a partnership. This is what I want to achieve. This is what I'm putting into it. This is what I'm expecting. If it meets my expectations, then we can have that conversation and make it work. So that has been my approach. And so far, I believe it works for me. And also, like in every partnership, there are times that you feel the partnership isn't working or is not meeting your needs. You sit down and redesign your business plan. You redesign your strategy. So I believe if you approach it in that way, or at least my approaching it in that way, works for me.
Now ask a question.
So I don't know if I've answered the question.
Let me see. Mr. Pam, go ahead. Was she able to address what you were looking for?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and you're absolutely right about the fact that everybody designs this based on their own understanding. And I hear you about creating a business model and saying, look, here's my investment, here's my aspiration. Does it meet? Does it not? But I mean, you and I come from a traditional society, and you know what the pressures are. And sometimes, you know, as you both partner in this relationship that is not exclusive, because it involves a wider circle of family. You both have to agree on how you on the values, and also on the way that you manage the relationship, and that agreement is absolutely fundamental. So happy to hear this. I'm just concerned about some of the touch points where there may not be agreement. That's what leads to problems.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all about negotiating. Negotiate. You have to be very skilled at negotiation. Like when it comes, like I came home today, if not for the fact that, I always have my soups. So if not because I'm at this meeting, I'll probably be thinking of boiling rice or making semo or tuwo or something. Do you understand? So the fact that I'm working doesn't stop. But at least the days that I'm unable to, like today, my husband should be able to enter the kitchen to fry yam or cook if the girls are not around to do it. That's where the negotiation of partnership is. Because there are situations that maybe we've traveled and there's stew in the fridge. I'll call him and say, please, we'll bring out that stew to start doing. Then I'll be like, hey, we are very hungry. Oh, please, can you boil rice or put it on the fire? Anyhow, we meet it. We'll all eat it. It's just having that understanding, or saying, I beg you, I don't have energy to cook today. Sure, anything you see, fine. Then you will tell the girls, oh yeah, make indomie or make pasta or something. Having that flexibility, not that you must do this, you must do that. There's nothing like must. Do you understand? It's just that as a human being, we know what we are expected to do as women, which is homemaking. You cannot say, even if you cannot do it yourself, like cleaning and sweeping, make sure the person you engage to do it or you outsource it to is able to do it. And even if for some reason you cannot cook and you are able to order or outsource the cooking, make sure it's available. So it's those kind of ways that it has been able to work. When I hear situations where they'll say you must be the one to cook it, or they'll come 2 p.m. and say pound yam, well, it's not really going to happen to me, because by that 2 p.m. I'm dead to sleep. And there's nothing that will make me wake up. Like they say, don't start what you cannot continue. Do you understand? And the other conversation is that if there is food available, then there's no need for somebody to come and be expecting to eat. Whether the person is around or not, make sure the food is in the cooler or in the fridge and they are able to come and microwave it to eat. The dynamics are different when you are living in Nigeria and when you are living in the Western. This thing. My husband is a very easygoing person, and he's not really fussy. As long as there's food, he knows he can sort himself out, or he has learned to sort himself out here in Nigeria. And not having that pressure of so many people in the house to see and say this or this, it brings out the person in you. There are times that maybe he will look at the situation and be like, "Hi," he will just take the vacuum cleaner and just clean up the place. Do you understand? It doesn't take anything from him, but it's just having that conversation and that flexibility and adaptability that I feel works. And it still boils down to understanding each other and being flexible, and everybody having an understanding of what they bring. And it's difficult for me to really put a finger at it, because I believe dynamics change or are different within Nigeria and within the UK because of so many reasons. So it's a learning process. You find what works for you and you adapt collectively as a family. Yes, there will be hitches. Do you understand? But it's, in every family, two cannot have two hot heads. Do you understand? So there are certain situations that maybe he's firm on and say, no, he's not going to compromise. Then it's me that will have to back down. Then there are certain situations where I'm like, no way, this is how I want it. And he'll have to back down. But if both of you are saying you are not going, you are trying to prove, fire, it's not going to work. And as human beings, even when you're negotiating with children, there's an extent to which you can stamp your authority. There are times you just have to give in because times are changing. So sometimes you have to, like I always say, give in to superior argument. So it's not about whether you like it or you support it, but for the sake of peace, you give in. So it's maintaining that balance. It's not every time one person will give in. The other person, it's give and take. So it's about negotiation. And I think it's something that you learn, over the years. You know what your spouse doesn't like. You know what they like. Do you understand? And you know how to approach them over certain situations and how to navigate. So it's you just have to have a lot of patience and emotional intelligence,
Fantastic.
and also observe that children are watching. They are learning. They are learning negotiation skills. They are learning how to manage, how to have conversations. So those are things that guide. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Mr. Pam, any other thing? Marilyn, I saw your hand. I'll call on you. Any addition? So Ramatu, thank you for that. Somebody asked the question about marriage is definitely a partnership. In love and true compromise, we can have a lovely blend. Words on marble. Flexibility is key in every partnership. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pam, for the question and making time to come and support me and to listen into this very important interview. So, Marilyn, go ahead and ask a question, and then we'll give Ramatu the time to round up. This is so
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for enabling me to at least say something. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to just listen in because I've actually been enjoying this. I'm working from home today and I thought, oh, I can as well dial in. But honestly, I've been forced. I mean, there's no way I wouldn't have been able to resist calling. First of all, thank you so much again for arranging this, enabling us to express enabling Ramatu even to share her wisdom with all of us and her years of experience. Like Simi, we were secondary school mates, Ramatu and I, and we knew each other back then. Not so much we're in touch on a very sociable level at this point. But what I wanted to say, Ramatu, is I totally agree with you.
On class level, Marilyn, on class level, we are always communicating. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah, well, we are, but not as much as, maybe I stand to be corrected there, maybe not as much as ideally, I would have liked, to interact on a more, to maintain that physical contact. I mean, Ramatu is in the UK, I'm in the UK, but I don't think we've actually seen each other, but we have been in touch. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, apologies, Simi, I didn't come across, or I didn't, say it the way I meant to say it. But what I was trying to say was, thank you so much. I mean, I agree with you about, compromise. Compromise is something in any relationship, more so in a marital home. You have to have that compromise. Somebody has to give in. Now, I think where the bottleneck is when you begin to think, I don't want to be the one to do that all the time. And I think that's what Mr. Pam might have been trying to touch on, i.e., when we get to that point, how do we deal with those issues that are nagging where we are thinking, right, I don't think I can compromise. The other person, I might be wrong here, is not willing to compromise either. How best to approach it? I think, like you said, you will just have to deal with every situation as they come and know each other. No matter how much you think you know the other person, those times will come when you think, God of Israel, who is this? Why do I have to, and whatever other strategy you have, you would have to dig deep to, put in place. But yeah, it's I think that there are those times, and they're very, very trying times when you ask yourself, how many more times do I compromise? And is that peacefulness in you that makes you say, you know what, I'm just going to step back at this point. But that doesn't mean I've given in, but I don't want to stress myself too much. Again, you have your children, your role models for them, the kind of what you want them to appreciate in life. For instance, we talk about cooking. My husband doesn't cook at all. He does so many other things, which I appreciate, and but he doesn't cook. And I think I've accepted that. And he is, like you say, not fussy. He would eat anything, but he doesn't cook. So it's between me, my daughter. My son is just coming up. I would like him to do more. But we have to just appreciate what we have, look at the positives and the other good things. And because there are things he does, I know maybe some other people I know don't do. And the cooking, I know some other people do, and he doesn't. So I think just appreciating and acknowledging what we have and being thankful for what we have, regardless of, what we think are negatives, but just hold on to the positives as much as possible. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Where is Ramatu?
I'm here.
Where I'm trying to tag you.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think, like I said, when you talk about investment, people may assume, investment means what should I say, your joy, your ability to gist. Do you understand? To entertain, to engage with your partner matters. We don't watch the same movies. I don't watch football. But being able to sit and just, and have that conversation where you can laugh, and, share joy or anger and someone listens is important. And which is something that we have. And I always say it's when you're your authentic self, both of you will be authentic. But when you come pretending, and everybody is pretending, after a while, the mask will fall, and when you're in close proximity with someone, it doesn't take long for that mask to fall. And if there's no foundation, it will collapse.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's the same thing, man. When you are in the work, those that pretend in the office, it doesn't take much for that mask to fall after some. But if you are your authentic self, your colleagues can vouch, this is this, this is this. Your spouse can say, I know who she is. Yes, she can do this, she cannot do that. I think to me, that's the most important, where people know where you stand on certain issues, especially when it comes to values or integrity. I feel those things are more important, And also, like I always say too, I believe that not everybody is meant to marry. And I've said it, I'll continue to say it. Marriage is not meant for everyone. Not everybody has the maturity, the willpower, or whatever qualities it takes to sustain a relationship like marriage. And once we accept that, we will not be forcing people together or forcing people to get married when they are not ready, they are not willing, they are not able, or they don't even want to. When I say it, it's a bit controversial for some people. Do you understand? But what I believe that we should change, reframe our thinking when it comes to marriage and having children. And I think the world would be, much better. And like, I will not end this conversation without saying that I believe that we need to empower our children now, because I know we've spent so much empowering the girl child that we've left the boy child behind. And now we have girls that are ambitious, hardworking, able to look after themselves and contribute, even at the global stage. The men are left behind. They are struggling. They are at the stage where the girl child was before. And I believe we need to correct that before it's too late. We need to understand life skills. Let everybody learn to cook, to wash, to clean. Let everybody go to school. Let everybody get a job, get a source of income, or go into business, whatever. Let them travel, see the world, understand different cultures. Do you understand? Understand who they are as individuals before we push them into getting married, whether male or female. And I believe then people will marry for the right reasons. You understand?
I have a
So rather,
question.
yes.
Please, you always say people will marry for the right reason. What about those of us that saw a young boy and fell in love? We didn't have expectation. We did love, 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 love. And somehow, through thick, thin, and ups and downs, we've been able to get to where we are now. Is how do you see such marriages where actually there are not much expectations? It's just that you see fine boy, you love him, and he sees fine girl, he loves her, and then you all just decide to get married.
Well, like everything in life, sometimes it's a gamble. There are some people that they've met, fell in love, and that love sustains them till eternity. There are some people that they're forced to get married. They didn't know each other, it was an arranged marriage, but somehow they were able to identify something at the core of their relationship that held them together till eternity. So I think marriage is beyond love, because I don't know. But then the question is, what is love? People define love in different ways. My idea of love is different. My idea of love is respect, giving me space to be my own person, supporting me, providing for me, being a listening ear. That may be my own idea of love. Another person's idea of love is you allow them to do everything. You be worshiping them, telling them they are fine, telling them this, telling them that. So it depends. That's why I say when you travel and you are mature, you understand what you want from a relationship. What you want from a relationship, not what pastor told you, not what religion says, not what your sister says. Do you understand? But what you, let's say Ramatu, this is the kind of person I want. This is the kind of person I feel I can work or live with. And so we need to allow each other to flourish. It doesn't mean that some young people will meet each other and marry. It will not work out. No. You can find love or contentment or companionship at any point in life, but it shouldn't be your end goal. Like, I don't tell my girls, finish school, then you get married. No, finish school and get a job. Once you get a job or you're able to take care of yourself, you know what your expectations from a man or a partner will be different. When you're empowered, I was working when I got married. I was working in British Council. I was in my own apartment, you know. So what I was not hungry. I was not seeing marriage as somebody should marry me and rescue me from poverty. Since I don't have a job, I don't have anything. Anybody that comes, so let me just go and answer Mrs. At least I'll be madam and I'll be eating. You know, there's that difference, you know. But when you are empowered, you're able to take care of yourself. You know what you want. You have a source of income. Then the conversation will be different when you meet somebody, a potential life partner, because you've conquered what my friend calls poverty. You can provide the basics for yourself and maybe a little more. So if somebody comes, you are not looking through rose tinted. You are able to analyze and have those conversations that matter. You know, people try to say money doesn't matter. Please, it matters. You know, it matters. And I'll be the first person to say that when we train our children, it's an investment. I've invested in my children spiritually, emotionally, financially, from when they are young to this. Anything I've taught them to be independent, to be good, you know, to be hardworking, to be successful, you know, to be good academically and whatever, is an investment. So I would not want my child to come one day and tell me that somebody that dropped out of school has no future ambition is a life partner. It will not happen. Do you understand? It will not happen. We have to be realistic. There are some people that are not just good symbols. I know it sounds elitist or it may seem snobbish to some people, but please, water and oil cannot mix. Do you understand? I don't think I would have invested so much in my child for somebody without a pedigree, without any background. We say you are, what do they call it? Oh, I'm living off benefits here in the UK. It will not happen, please. You know, let's be sincere with our conversations. Because of this bid to get married, we will see women that are working, they're successful, they will go and marry a man whose business you don't know what he's doing, whether he's selling car. There are certain things a man will tell you should run. I'm selling car, I'm doing business. You don't have a shop, you don't have a business, you don't have somewhere that you can point to. Some people don't even know. Some men will come, you don't know their classmates. You don't know their contemporaries. These are red flags. We should be having those, you know, we should be discerning, you know, when we are choosing life partners. But I see that the socialization in Nigeria is different. You should be married. You must have a man. And in having a man, you have challenges. It's difficult for you to attain a particular level of independence and expect a man that doesn't have or cannot meet you or match you quarter, talk less of halfway. And you expect, you expect him to respect or love you. It can only be temporary. Then later on, insecurity setting. Even normally, both of you are earning well. You are both doing well in your career. Insecurity sets in. Talk less of when, you are not even balanced. It doesn't bode well for a successful relationship. And when you analyze those relationships, you can pinpoint where the trouble is and how to address it. It doesn't mean that you should marry or engage a partner for financial reasons. I believe that it's beyond financial reasons. You can be a civil servant and you are talking to somebody that is working in an NGO. You're of the same level, whether he's earning 200 and you are earning 1 million. If he's earning 200 and 500, you can still know how to balance. But where you are earning 70, the other one is earning 1 million. It will always be a problem. That marriage will not work. The love will die quickly because there are situations, like I'll sit down and I'll be like, oh, either I go to Amazon or I'm passing a shop and I see a bag or a shoe and I'll just go and buy it. It's my money. I've been earning practically all my life, But there are some people that the dynamics are, they don't have that ability to do that. They rely on the husband to give them pocket money. And when somebody is giving you pocket money, no matter how generous, they want to control how you spend it. Just like I control how my kids spend their pocket money because I'm giving them. But once they start earning, I won't have that power again. So we're talking about empowerment, and every woman should be empowered to take care of themselves, at least the basics, because there's always disrespect if you are totally under the power of another person. Even if it's your parents, if they are providing everything, we know now as we're growing up, they will tell us A, B, and C, and we have to obey because they are our parents, they are providing for us. But once we started working, we could now make certain decisions and be able to disagree with some of the things. So you can imagine in a relationship, it's the same thing. Parents will give you unconditional love, but most times partners is conditional. Then you can imagine someone that has conditional love for you, wants to control you because they are providing. It's just normal nature. Even within siblings, the one that is always giving the other one money. Do you understand? We want to control how that person spends because you are like, this is my sweat. So you want to go and use the money and waste it. But if the person is earning the money themselves, whether they are wasting it or not, it's not your business. So once you look at things from that simple point of view, you try to analyze it in a situation. We should not be forcing and pushing our girls straight to marriage from school. Let them experience independent living. Let them experience what it's like to take care of themselves. Because if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your spouse, you cannot take care of your home. That's the truth of the matter. I feel I'm able to manage because I lived independently for at least a year or two before getting married. So I knew what it was like managing. I knew my hopes. I know how to buy things, how to pay bills, how to, get things for myself. So when I marry, I translated that into the relationship. But then I now realize that there are certain things I need to have a conversation. It's not about permission, but have a conversation before I buy or before I do. And it's just that conversation. I know earlier on my independence was he'll be thinking of buying something. Me, I've already bought it because I'm used to earning and doing it. But then you see the appreciation in the sense that the home is working and the things are moving. Because you know that even if you are not around, your children, your home is being taken care of. But then we need to learn that wisdom of making sure that we don't take away that power from him so that he now relies on you and removes his hand because he feels you always be there. So at some point you have to draw in and say, look, Do you understand? I am able, but this is what you are supposed to provide. This is what I will do. Do you understand? So you have to be able to make it work. Then you as a woman, you know you have to provide food. When people are talking about cooking and food, I say, me, when I cook my food, I keep. Now, as I feel at my age, microwave is there. You can make eba. It's not like before that you have to do everything grelly. I will even make plenty semo and keep. You warm. The next day, if I don't have the strength, you know it's in the fridge. You warm. If you say you don't like fridge food, you make arrangements. We need to take care of ourselves. I take very good care of myself, not because of anything, but because of the fact that if you don't take care of yourself and you break down, you are not able to take care of your family. And if you are not able to take care of your family, of what use will you be? So take care of yourself, eat well, uh, take care of your personal hygiene or whatever. Do you understand? Try to do exercises. I'm not really a gym person or someone that does exercise, but I walk a lot, you know, and because I walk a lot and I'm very active, I'm not the type that's okay, I'm working from home, I'll lie down on my bed. I will find something to do. Whether I'm putting things in the wash, I'm cleaning, I'm arranging, I'm doing something. I'm quite an active person. Take care of yourself. Try and do some exercises in the room. Do you understand? Which I try to
Thank
do
you so
as well.
much.
So
Thank you.
I think it's
This
all
is
about
so.
having that balance.
I think
You know.
Mr. Pam has hijacked my interview and we veered into marriage counseling. Thank you so much. This is fantastic from the Mr. Pam. I think we're going to have a follow-up session on marriage in general because I see the interest and we hear from different women, career women, home makers and business women. That's something I think I will organize in the next month for women to come together and men for us to rub mind. Thank you, Mr. Pam, for this very open-ended question you started. So if there are no more questions, I'll just want you to leave us with a word of wisdom and what your future aspiration is, and we'll end it on that note.
Okay. Well, my future aspiration is I want to see a world where everyone is empowered, whether male or female, you know, to be able to aspire and reach their full potential, to know what it is they want, and to be able to contribute to society or to their communities. I think we need to be asking each other tough questions. What kind of country do we want? What kind of future do we want for ourselves and for our children? The world as it is now, is it meeting our needs? Is it working? And if it's not working, what can we as individuals do to make it work for us? And also, we need to be looking beyond our generation to legacy. Now, I always say legacy, and your legacy can come in different forms. Either the people you've been able to impact their lives, the conversations you have, what you aspire to, what you stand for, what you believe in. So I would say that the words I would leave with everybody, or if there are so many things rushing through my head, but I would say basically is that you cannot you cannot do good if you are not good. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You cannot do good if you are not good. So all these things we say abuse politicians of doing, if you know in your own heart and soul you will not do those things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then you don't really have, then you can now condemn them, basically. But we cannot condemn, like there's this saying that before you remove the log in your eye. Do you understand? And I feel it's very salient because a lot of times we have certain expectations, but we ourselves are not living to those expectations. Is your life, are you walking the talk? Is your life mirroring the kind of life or engagement you want with people? So my final thoughts would be like, I think we need to just embrace our authentic self. I know people use it as a buzzword first, but me, I have no illusions. If something will not make me happy, I will not do it. Even if everybody is against me, I can stand alone if I believe in something and go for it. And I would like to encourage every other person that has stood alone, either in a fight or in a conversation. They are the only voice in another voice. They say, let your voice be heard, even if it's very soft, but at least say something. And I'll circle it back to the issue when I first started my career as that intern, that I turned to someone and I said, but technical, I said it softly, but it resonated. So you don't have to shout or make noise. Sometimes it's just a simple awakening, a simple light bulb moment that can define your destiny. So let's learn to speak up and speak out, and let's say encourage each other as women supporting women, not just because we're women, but because we feel that we have a cause, we are working towards it, and we want to be part of solutions, to issues. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ramatu. It's always been an interesting interaction with you for the many years I've known you and worked with you. It's so fantastic today. I want to thank everybody that has come. You can unmute and say thank you to Ramatu. If you have anything to add, you are free to unmute and congratulate her, thank her, and then I will have the closing remarks much after that. So let's all unmute and just say thank you to our special guest today, Ramatu Umar Bako, for an interesting, inspiring, and fantastic story she shared with us today. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Gracie.
Thank you. This is Ramatu. We're truly, truly grateful to you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I share your views on so many of the issues. So thank you so much.
Okay. Any other person?
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramatu. Thank you for being so open and down to earth. It's been very impactful. We really appreciate and look forward to more future engagements with you. And thank you, Auntie Kego, for making this happen. Bravo to you all.
Thank you so much. Dr. Angela, I see your hands up.
Yeah, okay, I just spoke.
Okay.
I just spoke. Yeah, bravo, very magnificent. Bravo to the entire team.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And before we close, I still want to advertise my book. Please go on Amazon. This is the only way you can empower me to empower other people. And apart from that, it's always so encouraging to read from other people's experience or their stories. Like Ramatu said, she reads a book a day or in a week. So just go and pick up The Power of an Effective Leadership in Diaspora. And then we have other books, the Niche series that talks about expatriate spouses, their experiences and family experiences. I also part of the book My Voice. Is a best-selling book on Amazon that talked about my life as a speech therapist in Europe. And then Iyawo the Expert Pro that chronicles my life. So please go and pick these books so that at least you get to know me better, get to know the work I do, get to be able to speak on my behalf, like Ramatu said. It's so important when many years ago, my husband said something about integrity. Integrity is not what you do when there are people around you. Integrity is what you do when you are alone and you're expected to take a fair and just decision, and you are not influenced by biases or nepotism or fear. You just do what is just. And I think from what Ramatu have shared with us today, you can see that she has a just and fair mind. She has passion for justice. And so I'm using this platform to appeal to both women and men that please, when we interact with each other, we must show each other respect. For those of us who do not understand what respect means for our colleagues or for our spouses, or for our children, or for people you interact with generally. This would be a good time to have a sober reflection, to ask yourself, from what she said, you can only respect people who you love. So ask yourself, those whom you show respect, do you love them, or is it out of benefits, or out of you can't do without them? And it's something I'm going to go back and reflect on. Who are those that I respect, and what is it behind my respect for them? And for us to be, because each time we have this session, it's not just to listen, it's also to learn. And when we learn, it's also very important to implement. And once we implement, then we become better version of who we are. Because for every stage where we learn something new and we incorporate it into our lives, we don't remain the same. We will become better. It's like a pruning system for us, a check and balance to make us be authentic, to make us to be that person that we want to be. So I really want to thank everybody that has shown up for this program. I am Princess Nwakego Ibrahim-Pam, the founder and chairperson of the Expert Professional and Business Women's Network International. We're in over 25 countries. This is what we do. We hold each other's hands and work with you. Either you're looking for emotional stability, financial empowerment, you just want a community of friends. This network has provided for me networks in different continents of the world, and the wealth of a person is not money, is the people you know. So this is a network where you can come and interact and network and patronize one another's businesses, help one another in their different sphere of life, so that we become better mothers, better women, both career-wise and business-wise, and just being better human beings, as Ramatu Umar Bako has said. And I just want to add one more last thing here. As women, there's room for all of us to grow. We are not competitors. We are sisters. When we put our hands together, we create waves of change. But when we stand alone, we drown in ourselves. So please, when you see another woman having any business, any activities, any event, create time. It's not about the money. It's about the fellowship. It's about the support. It's about the love and the affection she feels by having you people around. Especially for me, I want to say thank you for those regulars that when I call upon them, whether in short notice or long notice, they show up, knowing that all I ask of them is just to support me and their love and their grace, so that we can also impact other people. A broken woman cannot impact her family, neither can she impact her community, or will she be able to have a voice in the world so preoccupied with self. So let's empower one another, use our voice to impact people, use our voice to speak truth and justice, use our voice to be the integrity that nations, families, and society need to keep us on the straight path. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Ramatu Bako. We can go on and on and on because it's so fantastic today. Thank you for the only man that showed up today, Mr. Ibrahim-Pam. Thank you for your love and support. This many years, 40 years of knowing you, I've enjoyed your support, your love, your care, your anger, and everything. And here we are together, showcasing what it means to be partners in life. So thank you, everyone.